Okay, let's see if we get this hooked up. There we are. And we have 4 people. Hi, whoever. You got enough room over there?
I guess.
Crowding. Okay, we'll get started here in a few minutes. We'll just see whoever's out there watching us. Say hello.
Hello.
What's your name, Adele?
I don't know.
Hello. It's me again. Well, we have 5 people now. No one's speaking to us yet. Can you hear us? Can you see us? And there's the clock. So we'll just wait a couple of seconds here until we see who else is joining us.
Jeez. I should have wrote that down.
Oh, what?
But it was ticking me off this week. I had something that was really ticking me off, and I can't remember what it is.
Julie's here. Julie's here. Hi, Julie. And Maggie's here. Hi, Maggie. I guess I can't put it sideways. It won't let me do it when it's not. So that thing's not going to be any good for me to prop it up because I can't see everybody's on here. Deb's Walls is here. Hi, Debs.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, because it doesn't put the things up so you can see them. Okay, so we'll just give everybody a couple of more minutes before we get on with today's show. And we are set up for Art Attack, as you can tell. And I'll explain what we're going to do in a few minutes. And while we're doing Art Attack, we'll probably talk about whatever. You can't see it, but I have a cheat sheet wall over there behind the camera. Catherine's here, Andy's here, Mel's here. Okay, so we'll get started. So today is an Art Attack. I think we've only done one before, haven't we? This is our second one.
No, this is our third one.
Oh, is this our third one?
Yeah.
Oh.
We did, first one we did,
we did Alcohol Inks.
Yeah, and then we did the one with the stencils and stuff and the jelly plate printing.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, so this is Art Attack 3, not Art Attack 2. Okay, so today what we're going to do is...
I'm a little worried about today.
If this is maybe out of his comfort zone, but
Yeah.
it'll probably be better than mine. So what we're doing today is we have a canvas. Last week I talked about doing a page in a mixed media journal, but I decided instead to do a canvas. So we each have an 8x10 canvas, and it's already been pre-gessoed. And I told Walter to pick a picture from a set that I put out, and I've picked this one. These are both Norman Rockwell. Walter thinks his is sexist.
Yeah, I think it's sexist, but I like it.
Well, it's Norman Rockwell. It came from the 1940s, so there you go. And this came from a book, actually, that I bought at Value Village, charity shop. So I thought, and I love the pictures. So I scanned them, reduced the size because they were much bigger than this in the original. And I have already sprayed these with a fixative because the ink in my printer is not permanent ink. And if we get anything wet on this, which we will be getting wet mediums on this, the colors will run. So I think I've got it protected that won't happen. But never say never. And then I had some Tim Holtz chipboard phrases, and I told Walter to pick one, and I picked one. And those are going to be our organizing theme for this. And I'm making this fairly simple on him, since he's not done this kind of thing before. So we're not going to make a very extensive mixed media piece today for a couple of reasons. One, because he's an amateur, and two, because we don't have all day to watch wet things dry. So I've designed it in such a way that it's going to be fairly simplistic with the basic principles of mixed media, which is layers upon layers upon layers. And we'll see what we get. We could have something wonderful, or we could have something that's crap. You take your chances. Okay, so anybody else here? Mel says, love Norman Rockwell illustrations. Yeah. So, first thing we're going to do is put your little picture and your little word chip aside, because you're not going to be using those right off the bat.
Okay.
Now, the first thing in mixed media is that you have to lay down a background layer. And you can do this several ways. And those of you that do mixed media know how to do that. What are you doing? Looking for a place to put it?
Yeah.
We'll just put it up there. And so sometimes you paint on the background, or you lay down a collage of papers you may have already made, like jelly print papers or things like that. Today, I'm going to suggest that we use tissue paper. And I've got 2 rolls of Tim Holtz's tissue paper right here. And all you have to do is pick whichever one grabs you. I'm going to use this one, but you can use this one too if you want to use this one as opposed to that one. And just rip off enough that is the size of, suppose you want mine. Of course you want mine. Okay, so rip that off. We are drinking champagne, but we aren't eating anything today. Unless we eat the glue. Of course, the glue we're using will probably kill you. And a few of the things that we have here, you can't really see it where you are, but in front of us, I have my baskets of different ephemera and Tim Holtz bits and pieces and letterings and words and that, which we will draw from for our embellishments. And we don't need this anymore. That's the Art Guard. We put Art Guard on our hands. This is a hand lotion that helps when you clean up, get the ink and paint off your hands easier. So you've got that. All right. So in order to stick this down, and it may be difficult for me to have a conversation with you while we're doing this because I'm looking at my camera. It's set up here, or my phone, and I'll try to look when I think about it. And we'll talk about a few things too. So first thing we're going to do, because it's going to take a bit to work, is we have to stick this down. And we stick this down by using this, which is matte medium. And I'm going to give you a cup. And you've got some brushes over there. Get this out of my way or I'm going to knock it over. And basically this is watered down glue. And what you do is you put...
Does it matter which one?
Nope. And there's a bucket of water there for you to put it in afterwards. So all you do is just lay down some on here, and then you'll smooth the sort of top of it. Now, this will wrinkle as you put it on. So the wrinkles don't bother me. It's texture. And don't worry about cutting it off now. We'll wait till we get it dry, and then we'll cut off the edges. Or you can wrap them around too. It doesn't matter if it's big enough. So that's all you do. Lay down some of that stuff. Put this on.
Does it have to be like even all the way across? Or?
Well, yeah, it should be, because you want it to make a good seal. You don't need a lot of it. You see the way I'm putting it on? But you do want to make sure you've got a relatively even coating. And then you just lay down your paper and just take your hands and smooth it out. Now the other thing you can use is a spatula or a scraper. I have one here. And you just...
Oh, it's like wallpapering.
Yeah, you should be good at that. I never wallpaper, you do. We don't have any wallpaper in our
Not in
house.
this house, but we did in the old house.
And then what you want to do is take this and put a top coat on. And this just seals it. Make sure it sticks to everything. We will be putting more things on top of this, but this is going to be our background to start with. Now, what's anybody saying? Laura's here. Hi, Laura. So I hope everybody can see what we're doing. This isn't the easiest thing to put on camera in our setup. You also want to work this into this fairly well. Now save your little cup of this for later because you may want to use it as your glue for some things. And just put your paintbrush in the water. And then you're going to take your dryer, and I put your dryer over on that side by you. This is going to get noisy, people, sorry. We have to dry it off. If it wrinkles up on you while it's drying, that's okay. You can just use your fingers to smooth it over. Now this takes a few minutes to dry, and it will bubble up.
Oh, it's like watching paint dry.
Yeah, it is. It's not paint.
Is it normal that it doesn't seem to stick in spots?
Well, you should put more. If it's not sticking, take some more of that. Just lift up the paper and stick it down. It means you didn't get it completely coated. Now, the reason it doesn't matter if you get a few wrinkles in it is because good thing that wasn't the water. By the way, there's electricity over here. Hit water with it, and we might have a shocking time.
Yeah, you'd probably like that. Yeah, right.
No, more like you. Laura says, "What you making?" We don't know.
We're making a mess.
Yeah, right. Speak for yourself. We're doing a mixed media canvas based on a couple of pictures from a Norman Rockwell book. Have no idea how this is going to turn out. Don't really have a clear plan, which is not unusual for me when it comes to this stuff.
I don't have any plan. So.
This is not sticking well.
No, I know.
Oh, it is. But I guess you get parts that are coming up. Give it a little bit more. I haven't used this one much. This comes from Curry's, and let me paper towel. It's their own brand. I usually use Liquitex, or Golden, but I thought I'd give this a try. Now, I have used it in the past, but not that much. I've got a ton of it because it was cheap. Of course, it would have helped if I told you to put it on the back side of the tissue paper as well as on the canvas.
Okay, well,
I kind of forgot. I
forgot that, eh?
Well, because canvas is more porous than what I usually use, so. But it's sticking. Just have to. It will stick. This is the boring part of doing a canvas.
Well, that's all boring to me.
Read my lips. Whose idea was it to do an art attack?
It
was yours,
Yeah, well, I got
actually.
kind of tired of sitting gabbing in the kitchen.
I get kind of tired of sitting there listening to you gab in the kitchen. Jeez. And this will be our last Stephen and Walter Live. Thanks for tuning in. So what people saying? Mel says, isn't that the essence of mixed media? Nobody knows how it will look like at the end. That's right. And says, I was scrapbooking. I can't read this. I was scrapbooking earlier today, starting a scrapbook about my boxer Mitzi. And I showed last week on my vlog my scrapbook of our little Cleo, who's no longer with us. The poor little baby. We were watching actually Cat Show on YouTube last night. There were some beautiful kitties.
I don't know, they're boring. Cat in a box.
Cat in a box.
Actually, they were nice, and the long hairs were nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
And a lady in I feel sorry for, there's a lady in one of my classes that I'm taking, and she's complaining that her cat, I may have said this before, is mangy and has a bad personality.
Oh, yeah.
And Well, she has a Persian. Persians are really, really hairy. And she doesn't brush the thing.
Well, poor things
And
get
of course he
knots.
gets all matted up, and she says nobody wants to touch him, no groomer wants to touch him, because he's really mean. Well, I'd be mean too if my hair was all matted up. You got it with one of those long haired cats, you gotta brush them all the time.
Yeah, well, we had it with Cleo. And when I say
I
we,
brushed
I
her
mean
all
you.
the time, and if I missed a day or two, she would start getting matted up, and then I'd have to go in and cut her mats out if I missed a day or two. And so I tried not to miss any days.
She liked to be brushed.
But then, once in a while I go away on vacation and she doesn't get brushed for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Then you have to grab her and try and fix her up. She didn't like that.
no, she didn't. So you have the option, if you have enough hanging over, that you can wrap it around the edge and do the same thing, or you can just cut it off. I think I'm just going to cut it off because it'll take more time to
Yeah,
dry
I
and
think.
that.
Well, yeah, we were doing it. We had all the time in the world.
Yeah, but we'll do this. There's scissors on your table.
Oh,
Jeez.
I don't know. I can't see anything.
Scissors. Scissors go chop chop, okay? Do you know how to use them?
No.
Well, you should learn since you've been doing that sewing.
Yeah. Well, don't have a rotary cutter for this.
No. Doesn't work with a rotary cutter. And he says, I don't have a channel, but I'm thinking about creating one called The Adventures of Mitzi and Mommy. That might be fun. Oh, Laura has a beef pie in the oven and it smells wonderful. What time's dinner will be over? No, Walter put in a roast just before we started, so.
But I put it on low temperature so it wouldn't get too quick, and I'd have to look at it. So I'll jack up the temperature
Hey.
when we're done.
Couldn't you have done it in the sous vide?
Yeah, I could have, but then I don't really like the way a roast turns out that much, and
How do
it
you
would
know?
take a long time.
Oh, yeah, I
to
guess it
do,
would, yeah, that's right.
And I would have to. I thought about it. Could have started it there and finished
Garbage
it in
can
the
there.
oven.
Well, doesn't
Then I
really
wouldn't have
matter.
any gravy.
Oh, got to have the gravy.
And how can I do my roast potatoes then with?
Oh, yeah, okay. I made Yorkshire pudding to go with it. And I make the best Yorkshire pudding. Don't I?
I guess.
Oh, jeez, bite me. Like, as if your roast beef is like the grandest thing ever.
I don't make Yorkshire pudding, so I don't know.
That's right, you don't. Okay,
But I
so
could try sometime.
so you've got edges on here, right? So just take your matte medium and just go over them. We don't have to be so particular about the drying of this part of it because it'll dry on its own because we're not going to be working on it. But it's just to seal it. Okay. Oh, I'm using two brushes now. Okay. Andy says, actually, it will be the misadventures of Mitzi and Mommy.
Misadventures, so
Yeah.
Mitzi gets up to some no good.
But I don't know. Laura says, I have potato buns to go with, but I didn't make them. The potato buns. That sounds good. Like I said, what time? Our roast will keep for the next day. Yes, and the next day here in, is it a provincial or federal holiday?
Provincial holiday, but there's a lot of the provinces have it.
Yeah, we have a long weekend this weekend. It's called Family Day tomorrow.
And some of the provinces have them on different days.
Oh,
It's not always the same day.
so it is for us tomorrow in Ontario. So we went out a couple hours ago because we need to get some potatoes. So we went to the No Frills to get some potatoes and a couple of other things, and the lineup was huge. You thought that people were stocking up for the winter, that they weren't going to be able to get into a grocery store again forever. It's only going to be closed for one day. But everybody was, I've never seen the lineup so long, even at Christmas time.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, the 8 items or less went halfway down the store.
Yeah.
And then the regular lineups were really, really long.
And what are people saying here? Mel says, Julie, I had so busy a January at work, and my mom also had a big surgery, so I've been really tired and not feel to create anything. Didn't feel like creating anything. That's too bad, Mel. And Andy says, Mitzi is crazy and always up to something. I don't think she'll make it through puppy training school. Well, maybe not. So anyways, while Walter's just drying up here, what's been going on? Speaking of mothers, my mother's fine. She must be, because she was bitching about the food again. So that's
Yeah.
always a good sign.
Yeah, and she was bitching about the, what do you call it, the woman, the dietitian.
Oh, yeah, the dietitian. She says, I don't like that dietitian. She's always walking around making notes when we're trying to eat. And she says, and besides, she's got a great big ass. And she's a bitch. And then my mother had to throw in, but apparently something she said about the food, she says, well, your son agrees with me. So the only thing I can think of is what we were talking about.
That you said that she was somewhat anorexic.
Yeah, that I said my mother's somewhat anorexic and that. But of course, my mother can always bring it back to hit me right between the eyes with it. But I'm learning to ignore that. But she's fine. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. And although yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It will be. It takes a little while. And Walter's, and we use the same tissue paper, but we use different segments of it, so they're not the same. So that's our first layer. So now we don't have a blank canvas anymore to look at. We can do something. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some stencil work. So behind you are some stencils. So pick one or two that you would think would look good in your background. I've already picked mine. And then I'll show you what to do with them. And while Walter's picking his stencils, what's else? Okay, so coming up on the vlog tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't have a sewing class because it's family day. And so that means I'll be able to do my vlog on the day that I usually do my vlogs instead of on the Sunday before, like today. And I'm carrying on with my series about my scrapbooking mixed media art evolution. And I have another installment about making albums. We're embellishing them now. And I have some new things to show people that I've recently acquired. And what else? Oh yeah, I'm doing the YouTube channel review a little different. I'm looking at my top 5. And some of you might think I'm going to get I'm being critical when I do this. But I picked 5 that I follow on a regular basis. And I'm going to tell you why 3 out of the 5 of them I don't follow much anymore. And why the other 2 are still my top picks. And let you in a little secret, I got in trouble with Mike Deacon. But I'll talk about that tomorrow. You'll have to tune in for the vlog to find out why I got in trouble with Mike. Well, I didn't really get in trouble, but he did kind of scold me. Well, he didn't really scold me, but, well, you'll understand when you see it tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to, maybe a little teaser. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay down. You don't have to cover the whole thing with the stencil. You can put it into parts of wherever. It's just to break up this and give a little bit more texture. And we're going to do it with ink. And here's your ink selection. Behind you. Use whatever color you want out of this. You can use a couple of colors, and you use one of these things, one for each color. And I'll show you how you apply it. I got to think, what color do I want to use? What colors were in my picture? That's some greeny color, so what's this one? This one is olive. I'll try the olive. And you just grab one of these, and don't worry about them saying what they say on them because they're for something else. And you get them all juiced up in your ink pad. And then, now be careful when you do this. You don't want to tear your tissue paper, especially since it's not completely dry. But you're just going to gently rub it through your stencil. Like I said, you don't have to cover the whole thing, and it doesn't have to be really dark. It can be whatever you want it to be, actually. And We're just giving it texture. Now the reason we're using this particular ink, I'm not using the Tim Holtz Distress inks because we'll probably put more wet medium on top of this, and his Distress inks, as everybody knows,
Are distressed.
yes, they put a lot of stress on it. They reactivate when they're wet. This is archival ink by Ranger, and it doesn't. It's permanent. So it's a little safer bet when you know you're going to put something else on top. And if you want to add another stencil design on top of that, you can, maybe in a different color. Up to you. Your choice. Let me see. Vermilion. That's some vermilion. Where did I put that as stencil? Yeah, this is and use a clean applicator so you don't contaminate the ink. Laura says she likes that olive color. Now, oftentimes I spray the back of the stencils with repositionable spray, but didn't do that today. If your stencil moves on you, it doesn't matter, because this is just another layer, and layer upon layer, they all get covered up. So essentially what we're working on today is the principles of collage. What are you doing?
I dropped something on the floor, and I couldn't bend over.
Well, I need not say anything to that, as much as I would like to. Okay, champagne. We need champagne. What are people saying? Laura says, look at all those inks. Oh, Laura, you've seen nothing yet. That's only scratching the surface. I have a wall of ink, which I don't use much anymore. But Julie's here. Hi, Julie. Oh, and Mel says that Mitzi must be such a cutie. My dog, okay, Ketku, means something like rascal in Finnish, is a Finnish laphound. He is now 4 years, but still a little puppy, really wild. Yeah, we watched a little dog show last night, and it was kind of interesting what they do to the poor things. They grab their tail and they feel them down their flanks, and then they then they pull back their lips and look at their teeth. I'm not sure why. Must have something to do with the health or something of them, maybe. This we can put away. We don't need that. You still inking?
Yeah, well,
What?
Seem to be getting onto here.
Well, that's because of the way you're doing it. You're dabbing.
Oh.
Lightly rub. Lightly.
Oh, okay.
Circular
That's a lot
motion.
better.
Whoa, what an amateur.
That's better.
Yeah. You might want to not press so hard, though, because you're starting to sink you're stretching your canvas. The next thing we're going to do is more sophisticated. And for it, you will need another stencil. I'm reaching at the counter behind me where we've got a lot of the stuff laid out.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, put your stencil away, cover up your ink, pick up your toys.
Do I want to do anything with the stencil?
No, leave it.
Do I put it back in its spot?
Nah, just leave it. I'll clean that up afterwards. Put the ink though back in here. And these thingies, because we don't have that much space.
Okay, and
Go. So pick another stencil that you think sort of, well, it doesn't even have to complement, but this, whatever. Oh, Luch is here. Hi, Luch. Geez, Luch, I thought you dropped off the planet. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Not since before we went to Florida. How you been? How's Lionel? Say hi to Lionel. He's probably there in the background. Mel says, I have some inks, but unfortunately don't use them very often.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called modeling paste. You have a spatula beside you. Looks like this. Okay, now I'll show you how to use this. Now, there's a couple of things we could do right now, and I'm debating on what. This does not dry clear. It'll dry that color. It's a white. Which we can colorize it afterwards, or we can colorize it before. And we simply colorize it before with a little bit of paint. So I think maybe we'll do that. I'm going to talk to people.
I'm not talking. I don't talk.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, Luch says we're both here, both well, thank you. Yes, it's been a while, miss you both. Okay, what I'm getting out is, I'm trying to get out, is some wax paper. And a little piece for you, a little piece for me. This is going to be our mixing palette, and now you're going to have to pick a color of paint. And let's see what would be best for grabbing paint. Let's grab this. Okay, there's a bunch of paints
I think I've changed mine.
in this box. So, keeping to whatever color scheme you might be going for, I think I'll go for orange on it.
Yeah, I think we'll go back to
So pick a color. Clean it up after you.
Yeah, okay. You got pink? Or you got purple? Or
No, what? Purple? You want purple? Must be a purple in here. What? There's no purple in here? It's probably...
green will do. Green will do.
Okay. Alright. So, what you do is, I'll show you first. You take your wax paper. You don't need a lot of this, but you scoop some... What, you're changing your color? Okay. So you scoop a little of this out. Mel says, is it possible to turn your light a little? Walter's canvas is so bright they can't see anything. Okay, so that one over your head. Move it out that way. See if that makes a difference. Does that help, Mel? The lighting down here isn't the best for this kind of thing. That looks a little better. We'll hold it up now for you to see anyways. So, you take a few drops of your paint into your modeling paste, and then you muck it about to mix it in. And you want it to be kind of pastel-y. Well, you could do it bold too. The more paint you put in it, the brighter it gets. It depends on what you're going for. At this point, I really don't know what I'm going for. I'm wondering if I should use brown. I don't know if I like this orange. I think I'm going to darken it.
Just add purple.
What? Purple and orange make brown?
Yeah, there's no purple.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had some brown in here. I just think it's a little too bold. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, it looked like snot. Ooh, I haven't used these in a while. Guess I better shake them up. Glennis is here. Hi, Glennis. Long time no see, Glennis. Been missing you at the art journaling classes. Laura says she has an HP inkjet and it prints on cardstock and watercolor paper. Mine will too, but my inks are not pigment inks. So they will run if they get wet medium on them. But if I spray them with a fixative first, an art fixative, then they're fine. And Julie says, how is it for printing on fabric? Oh, I guess you're talking about printers. Okay, let's see here. Muck this about. Yeah, this might be a little better. You could have done this on a regular paint palette, then you gotta clean it up, so this I just throw away. Alright. So once you get this all mixed in, and you probably have more there than you need, because you're not going to cover your whole canvas with this stuff. And we have to dry it yet too. Mel says, Julie, Canon printers are good. Epson Workforce printers are good for crafting as they have ink that doesn't bleed when you use wet medium techniques. Same with some Canon inks if you can use good paper. Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if I can actually buy ink for my printer that'll work in it that's permanent. Okay, so you're going to smooth this in just a few spots onto your canvas. It's going to give another dimension to it. So all you do is you make sure your stencil is laying fairly flat, and you just smooth it on like you're icing a cake. Now, you don't have to cover the whole thing, and you only want a thin coat, because the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to dry. And sometimes it'll go under your stencil too. That's why I like to use the repositional spray. It depends on the stencil. I should have probably used that in this one because it's doing that. But that's okay. It's texture. It's that distressed look. Maybe just a little up here. Okay, that's all I'm going to put. Now, with these, we need to wipe them off. Because if this stuff dries on them, then it'll kill the stencil. So all I do is I take a baby wipe and put it onto a paper towel underneath, and that usually does the trick. You don't have to be real thorough, just get the bulk of it off. Okay, that'll do.
Pig.
Yeah, that'll do, pig. All right. No, put that here. You're a messy crafter. Put the paper towel down underneath it.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I wasn't listening.
That's better.
Huh?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Right.
Oh shit! Our paints are mixing.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
We're not using them?
No, we're done with them.
Okay.
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 Take a baby wipe. Take a bum wipe and wipe your. Never mind. Said it's probably good. Now flip it over and do the other side. And put it on a cleaner piece of the towel. Okay, so while he's doing that, Mel says, Julie, I have a Canon TS8050. It's really good, and with some paper, ink doesn't bleed. Can check the paper names for you next week. I should really look into that. Okay, so that's good enough. Throw the stuff in the garbage. Just put your stencil. Give me your stencil. Garbage down there. Okay, we have to dry these. So here we go. So while we're drying this, ultimate sewing classes. Well, on Saturday we took our first of 2 classes together, and that's making this rug. And they're a pain in the butt. And I'm sure you've seen them on the internet, on YouTube. They make these rugs. They look like a braided rug, but they're a coil of fabric and it just keeps going around and around. I'm not enjoying this at all. Are you enjoying it?
I don't know. I haven't done any more of it yet.
No. Well, it's a bit tedious.
It's gonna take forever.
Yeah. So we have to have, first of all, we had to take these 2.5-inch strips that are 40 inches long and put them all together. And I think we had how many? 40?
40, yeah.
40 of these strips. So we had to attach those end to end. And then we have batting. And it's the same with the strips, 2.5 inches, and you lay it down and you fold the edges over on the batting, then fold it again, and you stitch it down on one side to keep everything tucked together. So you get about a 1-inch strip out of this, or 3/4 of an inch actually, strip. That's all padding. And that's the part that I'm finding very tedious. And I'm not
Yeah, do the whole length, all 50 strips, and or 50,
40.
40, and sew it all together. And then next week we got to sew it again all together in a circle or in a.
Yeah. Why
But
am
I was
doing
having a
this?
little bit of trouble with my machine.
Yeah, you were having problems yesterday with the sewing machine.
Well, I got it figured out.
Oh, Luch wants to know, where are your glasses of vino or champagne? Right here. Oh, by the way, don't leave your heat gun too long in one spot on this, because this stuff is acrylic and it bubbles up if it gets too hot.
That's texture.
Yeah. Well, if that's the look you're going for. This could take a bit. So, what else are we talking about here? Oh, Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. Glennis says, I miss everyone there too. Just been focusing my crafts elsewhere lately. Oh, you're going somewhere else, Glennis? Do tell, do tell. You're not hanging out with Tiffany, are you? Which doesn't really matter to me. Just don't let Carol know about it. She'll pretend she's good with that, but she's not.
Or is she doing a different kind of craft?
Oh, maybe. She says, I will return one day. We have such fun and love getting very covered in paint. I'm a messy crafter too, Walter, she says. Well, Glennis, you know that Class Act is having a retreat, a crop, on the first weekend in May, which is National Scrapbooking Weekend, at the Legion in Oshawa. And there may still be some spots left. So all of us in the class, pretty much all of us, are going together to this. And we're going to concentrate more on mixed media stuff. And I even suggest that we set up a table where we could display some of the best of our stuff, so other people who don't know what mixed media is, they might see what we've done, and maybe that'll give them an interest. Or they'll all shun us on the weekend and not want to have anything to do with us. I don't know which. But it should be fun. I'm actually thinking of doing a mixed media journal that weekend, because I'm back into journal making again, as you can tell on my blog if you've watched it. Oh, Glennis says, nope, who's Tiffany? Never mind. If you go on Facebook, Tiffany is doing she's took over Nina Brook Designs, and she's been running crops and things and a store sort of online out of her house. That's all I know about her, really.
I think she's been around for a while.
Oh yeah, she's been around.
Didn't she do a couple of crops at Carol's too?
Yeah, she did. She did do a couple of crops. A couple of craps. It's at Carol's in the old store. So, what else? So we're doing the rug class. Oh, we bought a couple of new things.
I bought.
Well, you bought one of them. I bought the other one. Tell them what you bought.
I bought an Amazon Echo.
Alexa.
Plus.
You know,
It's an Echo Plus.
Yeah, okay, but it's the thing where you talk to her and you go, Alexa, do something for me. And actually, we've been having a lot of fun with her. You can get Alexa to fart. We're such boys.
Yeah, you just say, Alexa, rip one.
Yeah, or pull my finger. Okay, so small things amuse us, all right? What can I say? And it says, Stephen, I told Janine about the fabric you had made from art journal pages and used in a quilt. If you ever get a chance, please show sort of like a quilting evolution. If I have any of it left, I've just been using some. Actually, though, that's a good point. I can show some of it tomorrow on my blog, because I'm going to show you my art quilt, which isn't done yet, but I've got the top done and I'm starting to quilt it. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm just seeing if you have any of that stuff around.
No, it's in the other room, and I don't want to get paint and stuff on it, so
Okay.
I'll show it. I will show it. Okay, are you dry?
I think so. Was it just...
It might be a little tacky, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think
When
it's
it
done.
cools down. Yeah, okay. So we're done that layer. So show your thing. Okay, so here's what they look like so far. Mine looks like someone just crapped on it.
Yeah, it does.
Read my lips. So, oh, I'm almost out of champagne. Where's the bottle?
I don't know.
Okay, so next stage of this is to, what is it? I've got
What's
my
the next
notes there.
stage?
Oh, the picture layer. So, your focal picture. Oh, I suppose you want some. Go get your picture.
Good shot.
Oh,
Knock it over.
man, mine champagne dipped. It's kind of dangerous to do art and drink at the same time.
It's my sexist picture.
Oh, yeah, your sexist picture. Don't worry about your label at the moment. Your
Oh,
Where did I
okay.
put mine? Oh, I set the thing down. Okay, so this is going to be your focal image. So you have to decide in your mind where you'd like it to be. Now, I'll give you one hint. It's never good to stick it in the center of a canvas because the principles of art say that's not a good place. Principles of art say the rule of thirds. Imagine dividing your canvas horizontally into 3 sections and then vertically into 3 sections, so 9 squares. At the intersecting point of 2 of those lines, the vertical and the horizontal, is what they consider an optimal point to place a picture or something that you want the eye to fall on. So I tend to go sort of this way. Now the other thing, before we stick it down, to make it stand out, we can ink around the edges of it. And there's my picture, okay, without ink. And usually I just use either a dark brown or a black for it. So let's see. Let's see, that's somewhere orangey. What's that? That's red. Deep purple. You can use any color you want. Do we have a black in here? Oh, my black may be over here. Yeah. My Momenta black. All it is to give it a little bit of a shadow effect. So you just go around the edges. Also, when you cut something out, this was printed on cardstock. I scanned it from that Norman Rockwell book, reduced the size, and when you cut it out, actually I had the Cricut Maker cut it out, you'll get a white line around it. So that just gets rid of the white line.
Oh, actually, I could have just used yours.
Well, doesn't matter now. Well, just make up your mind. Did you see how I did it?
Sort of.
Like, it doesn't matter how, ooh, it's wet over here. That's where I spilt my champagne.
I think I gave my woman a beard.
It does look like it. Okay. I have another one of those. It doesn't matter. It'll look fine. So, Ilona says looking good. Glennis says, my Alexa's talking to you. What do you want her to do? Alexa, pull my finger.
No, yeah, that was an app I had to put on.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to say, rip one. Alexa, rip one.
Okay, so you got that? So,
Yeah.
and you know where you're going to place it?
Yeah.
Okay, so use your matte medium, again, the white shit, crap, stuff.
Yeah, and do I put it on the back?
Yes, put it on the back of it, and then put it on here too, and stick it down, and then coat it over top as well. Oh, did you have your brush in water?
No.
Oh. You didn't?
No, I didn't that medium.
Oh. Yeah, that'll ruin my brushes.
Well, you didn't tell me to put it in water.
Jeez, do I have to tell you everything?
Yeah.
Apparently. Actually, it's easier if I lay down some wax paper. Usually I do this on my craft sheet, but because of today, I didn't use the craft sheet. I should leave that out. We might need that again. Oh yeah, let's leave this open. We'll go hard.
I got it coated. Does that matter?
Well, no, it doesn't matter. You don't have to put it on that. Okay, then you put it where you want it, and then go over the top of it, like you did with the tissue paper. Sometimes it may curl up on you a little bit, so you just have to hold it down for a few seconds. Come back to that. And let's see. Alexa says I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Yeah, Alexa has a sense of humor. Not. Okay, so once you've got that coated, you're going to have to dry it again. There's always a lot of drying in mixed media. So we got an Alexa, and it'll play music. We've got a trial thing on Amazon Prime Music to try that out. Because half the time we were asking Alexa, we were putting her through the paces the other night after dinner, and we'd ask her for some really obscure music or stuff, and then she'd say, oh yeah, she has that, but she'd only play us a sample, because we had to have Amazon Prime Music.
Unlimited. We had
unlimited.
Prime, we had Prime through your subscription to Amazon Prime, so, but it only had very basic music on it. And of course, we like obscure stuff.
So anyways, I got a 30-day free trial, which I think it's $9.99 a month. So
yeah, it was $7.99 a month.
I thought it said $9.99.
Oh, I thought you said $7.99.
Well, whatever. Maybe in $7.99 American.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Canadian, so always more. But anyways, and then I bought the Dot,
the little one,
which is a smaller one, to run music down in our rec room, and Walter hooked that right directly into our stereo system.
Well, the only downside is that the Alexa speaker doesn't work on there when you hook it to the stereo, so you have to have the stereo on to actually hear what it responds as.
Yeah, but most of the time, if we were using it downstairs, the stereo would be on, so I don't think it's going to be a big problem.
And we got it to control our Philips Hue lights upstairs, too.
Oh yeah, when you see us doing the video upstairs, that we sometimes have a red glow, then a green glow, and a blue glow around off to the side of us, but that's our Hue lights.
So we can just sort of say, Alexa, turn kitchen lights on, and she does it, and we can change the colors and stuff, too. Which is kind of cool. That's about the only home automation stuff we have right now. But if she does anything that you have home automation on too, so
she'll do it. Yeah. So, anyways, it's kind of a fun toy, and they have.
I usually buy Apple products, and Apple has a speaker too, but it doesn't. Apparently, it only works with Siri and of course Apple products. But I read that it's not as flexible as Amazon's Echo, so. That's why I decided to go for the Echo.
Okay, so here's what we've got so far. So we've done some background layering, and we've got our focal point on here. Now we get the fun part, and we do the embellishing. And in front of us, I have, and you can't see this, but I have baskets of various things. So this is like sort of a free-for-all. You find what you like, and you start collaging it on here. Now, when you stick it down, don't use the matte medium for this. Use the glue gun or use the Gorilla Glue. Especially when it's a heavy embellishment, the Gorilla Glue works really well. And this is super glue, so don't get it on your fingers or your fingers will be stuck.
Well, great.
Yeah, but it holds really well. Kristen at Art Journal class told me about this stuff, and it does work really well. So, you just rifle through and see whatever you like. I always go for the Tim Holtz paper dolls thing. Where are they?
Oh, creepy dolls.
The creepy dolls, yeah. You may have to pull the basket up to take a look, because I know what's in here, but you don't.
There's the creepy dolls.
I like the creepy dolls. I don't know what I'll do with them. Yeah, I'll put these. And what you do is you just grab your elements and lay them down. Don't glue anything down your canvas until you've got pretty much everything that you want, and you've got it arranged the way you want it, and then you can start gluing it down.
not seeing anything I like.
Oh, jeez. Are you my mother? There's lots of stuff. You have to open up the package, see what's in it. It's got all kinds of ephemera. I hate these bags with the sticky on the one part. I mean, yeah, it's nice that they reseal, but then they stick to everything when you're trying to get them back in the bag.
How do I open it?
Find the, down there, on the bottom. No. There's a flap. You see it? Jeez, are you new to modern consumerism? What?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
it's not food.
Let's look for some Timmy Holtz stuff. What do we got in here? So I have a lot of Tim Holtz things. Ooh, these corner things might be fun. I could stick those up. Oh yeah, that would look cool. I'll put those up there. So let's move on here. What we're talking about. So what's newsworthy this week? Well, just our mini Trump here in Ontario, Ford. Now he's threatening our healthcare system under the guise that he's going to improve it, and there'll be no more what do they call it? Hallway medicine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not his solution to how to handle senior citizens that should be in nursing homes is to keep them in their home longer by giving them more in-home care. Yeah,
That's what all the governments end up doing.
and it never makes any difference. Like, well, what? They give 20 minutes more a week for it. So he's basically setting us up for privatization of our healthcare system, which is not good because then we have the American model, and we know how that works. Not at all. What else do I want to use? I've never used these. This Tim Holtz ribbon. This might look good across. So really, when you're doing this part of it, this is the fun part because you just like do it across the top. And let's see. Oh, and Laura says, and education. Luch says, Stephen, do you teach crafting classes on weekends? I teach art journaling class, Luch, the first Sunday of every month. And depending on which Sunday that is, sometimes it's more or less a free-for-all workshop where I have pretty much a steady clientele that come to every one of them. And they've been with me since the very first one, and I think we're up to number 24 now. So I've been doing it a couple of years. And they're very comfortable with experimenting and doing their own thing. So, and then on the odd month, like this one coming up in March, we're doing a found object approach where they have to do something that's not in an art journal. They can do it on a canvas, but the idea is to take something cheap, like from the dollar store, like a box or a wooden thing or whatever, frame, something like that, and embellish it using stuff from their stash, whether that be paper, 3D elements, that kind of stuff. It should be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of glue, that's for sure. So we kind of do every other month. But what's happening now is, because we're going to Australia in the tail end of March and into April, I won't be there for the April class. The May class we've canceled because we'll all be at the Crop, because it's the first weekend in May. And June's class, I think, will be the next class before the summer. And we don't usually meet during July and August. We pick it back up in September. If you're interested in coming to one, call Class Act. They're in the telephone book. Call Class Act. And see if there's a spot available. It's $20 to go to it, which most of that goes to the store owner, not to me. But you're more than welcome if there's room. And there usually is some room. No sniffing glue, he says. Maybe. Okay, what else do I want? What's in here? Chipboard. I don't know if I want chipboard. This Okay, so that might work good through that. So anyway, sorry that we're not talking at the moment. We're concentrating, trying to figure out what we're doing. Might look good in behind. Yeah, I could do that. So, what else? So that's what's going on. So what's eating Walter? Did you say there was something?
No, there was something this week, but I can't
But you
remember
can't
what
remember.
it was.
Okay.
I really should write that stuff down.
Yeah,
There's
you
something I
probably
thought, oh, this is good. I should remember. And obviously, I can't have been too bad because I don't forgotten it. So, well, it could have been the snowfall we had, lousy drivers, the.
Well, we talked about snowfall last week, and it's just been the same throughout.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, there, you're good. Okay, well, never mind then. Never mind.
When I remember what it is, I'll add it to my phone so I remember to
Yeah, you should do
remember it.
You
But there was
We'll do that. Oh, these would be good. Okay.
I've got some weird things there. Where's all your
My what?
like metal things? Like
In this one. And there might be something miscellaneous, but go through this. This is my Tim Holtz metal stuff. And oh, Carol's here. Hi, Carol. Mel says we have a big scandal here at the moment. Private care homes owned by internationalistic companies have been treated old seniors very badly. Have been treating old seniors badly. Now, 14 or more death cases, undernourishment, etc. Yeah, we've had that problem here in Ontario as well. They try to cover it up, but it does happen. Now, the one that my mother's in is actually really good. The care she's getting there is
well, actually, the nursing
excellent.
homes in Ontario are regulated, and they do have to be accountable for everything. But it doesn't mean there's things don't go wrong once in a while.
Well,
But
no.
that's why they monitor what your mother eats so much, so that when she drops dead from what do you call it, being underfed, they have a record of what she's been eating. So
Yeah, that's why she doesn't like the dietitian.
yeah, the
Dietitian.
dietitian watches what she eats, and then has taken her in to try and talk to her. And they wanted to what do you call it, give her supplements and stuff like that, which she kind of refuses
Yes,
to have. So
Yeah, well, I should have asked her the other day about how it's going. Did they change her boost or something, or the pudding? They were giving her that protein pudding, which she said just tasted horrible.
yeah, well, she drank Boost for years.
God, I tried that. You ever tried Boost? We tried some of that. Ooh, it is the most disgusting stuff.
Well, it's not
Well, it tastes
chalky.
like chalky and ugh. Didn't taste anything like chocolate. It said it was chocolate. Didn't taste like chocolate. Tasted like, I don't know what it tasted like, but it wasn't good. Now, when you're doing embellishments, the idea too is to give it some dimension, like pop things up. Now, if you want to pop things up, you can use some of these. Now, the only thing about these, they're double-sided sticky. You have to peel off the black on them when you take it. But I would give them a little dab of glue when you put them on, once you've pulled the sticky off, because they have a tendency, especially when you've got a lot of acrylic stuff on it, not to stick as well. Okay, I think. And do you know when you're done? No, you never know when you're done. You just decide that this is it. Oh, Phyllis is here. Hi, Phyllis. Oh, Laura's got to go. Dinner's ready. Okay, bye, Laura.
Enjoy your pie.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start gluing down some things here. Oh, the other thing too you can do around your embellishments is the same thing as we did around your picture. Ink them. It gives them a bit of a shadow effect. If you want to. You're under no obligation. This is yours. You can create it whatever way you want. Don't listen to me. I only teach classes in this. What would I know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, screw up. Okay, so what else to talk about here? Okay, so anything else eating you?
No, just stupid art class.
It was your idea.
Yeah, well.
You said last week, well, we haven't done one of these in a while. We should do one of those. Yay. Okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Get back to my roots. I haven't done this in a while. Well, not since my last art journaling class.
Well, no, I don't know. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do for that retreat that we're going to.
Oh, the sewing retreat. We're going.
Well, I did buy that pattern. I got to take a close look at it. Because, I don't know. I'm still not real into the sewing stuff. Go back to stained glass.
What? Yeah, you keep saying that. You're going to go back to stained glass, but you never do.
Yeah.
I told you, clean up your workshop and make it into a stained glass studio, and then you could have a few friends over and you could stained glass together.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Oh, jeez, that might be social. Yeah, I forgot. Well, I don't know. Sit in a rocking chair and rock.
Yeah, okay.
Like, veg out. I don't know. I've gone really kind of partial to this Gorilla Glue for
Yeah.
sticking things down because it works really, and it dries like super fast. I guess that's why it's called super glue. But it's great for things like this. So, anything else? Hike your home. Don't see. Okay, so what are we watching on TV? We're looking for some new programs. Anything you can recommend? Because we finished Sex Education. That is so good. Problem is, there won't be another one of them probably until next year.
That was
And then
good.
by then, we have forgotten what happened in the other one. The ending of it was really good. Didn't expect that kid that's the big bully made out with the gay kid. That was good. And then he got shipped off to military school, which kind of broke the heart of the gay kid. Yeah, Luch says, yes, Sex Education was very good.
Well, you just gave it away to anybody that wants to watch it.
Oops, spoiler alert.
What a retard.
Here, sniff this. Might make... Well, what?
I started watching this Russian doll thing.
Oh, that one you were talking about.
She keeps dying and then coming back to life. And
Oh,
the
okay.
there were a few parts that made me laugh quite a bit. I watched the first two. And actually, the first one, when I watched it, I thought, I don't know if I like this. And then I watched the second one, and I kind of think I'm getting hooked on it. But I can only really watch one at a time. It doesn't really make me want to watch two in a row.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, well, you watch all this stuff, then you tell me about it, but you've already watched it, and I don't like getting into something you've already gotten into.
but yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. It's worth a watch. It's kind of dark humor.
And what's it called? Russian Doll?
Russian doll. I don't know why. I know she's kind of Russian, but
Well, does it have to do with those Russian dolls? You know, the
well,
ones...
no, not really. I don't really know why. I think because she's actually supposedly plays a Russian type character that's in New York or whatever. She's at her birthday. She's at her 36th birthday party. She's in the bathroom. That's how it starts off.
Oh.
And then she goes for a little bit, and then something awful happens to her, and she dies. And then she ends up in the bathroom again.
Oh.
And then the first episode, she's really only at a party, right? But then as time progresses, she ends up going further and further each time till she dies. And then all of a sudden she dies again, and she ends up back at the party. So it's kind of annoying, but it's kind of interesting too.
So it sounds like that movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah, something like that, but not really as bad because they keep reliving the same day over and over. And she keeps reliving stuff, but then what happens is she finds out some information during her one of her lives, and then when she starts over again, she remembers that information. So people are keep wondering why she knows that information. Right?
Oh, well, Mel says, as we Finns say, nothing good comes from Russia. I could see why you would say that. And Luch says, Lost in Space, very good. Yeah, we watched that. They haven't. They put out the second season.
No, not
for that?
yet.
We watched the first season, but and Titans. Yeah, Walter didn't watch that, but I watched Titans. I really liked Titans. But I like the stuff that's got the superhero kind of thing in it, the fantasy. I kind of like that. But trying to figure out. I mean, we've got Netflix, and Netflix has a lot of good stuff on it. Walter actually separated out a lot of the movies, made a separate.
Yeah, the one
directory.
thing that annoyed me about Netflix is that when they mix all their when you're looking up stuff, they kind of mix all their movies in with their TV shows, right? So if you put up a favorite, right, that you want to maybe watch in the future, it ends up all in one area. So when you're looking back to it, I can't remember necessarily whether it's a movie or it's a TV show. So what I did was I created two categories. I created one for TV shows and one for movies. So then I put all the movies in the one category, and then I'll have all the TV shows in the other category. So if we're looking for a TV show, we go to the TV show category. If we're looking for a movie, we go to the movie category. Because it's a little bit annoying how they organize things.
Yeah, well, I think that the whole reason they do that is to try and hook you into seeing something, because you look and you go through more things looking for that which you want to watch or you were watching, and this way you hit other things. So it must have something to do with how they make money from it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I started watching the Russian Doll thing because I just thought, well, I'll see what this one's all about.
Well, Luch says the Netflix UI is a bit confusing how things repeat throughout the categories.
Yeah.
And they changed the bloody pictures.
I mean, you might look up one thing, and then all of a sudden you go back to the screen and it doesn't put you back in the same spot again.
No, I know, and that's quite annoying.
There must be a reason for it, but
Yeah, it can make you become annoyed. I don't know. I wonder if this is going to glue or not. Let's see.
I don't know. I still don't like creepy kids here.
Well, don't use them then. Mel says, I'm just watching The Magician Season 4. It's really odd at the moment, but so good. I started watching that, and I watched the first season, and I started to watch a couple in the second season, and then I lost interest. And I've said I want to go back to it. I may have found something super glue doesn't stick to.
Metal?
Oh, I thought it would stick. It should stick to metal. It does stick that, but it won't let me stick the metal onto the metal. I'm not hitting the right spots on it. Let's see here. Try again. But, yeah, so I'm looking for new things. There is this bit of a smell in this super glue. Ooh, like the smell. See if that holds it down. Prime Video has some good content. It's getting a little better. I've got it because I have Prime, as I've mentioned before.
Got Man with
Man in the High Castle. Now, but we've got another year before they'll put the next season out. If there's going to be another season. Oh, there it goes. It stuck that time. I just must have missed it. Oh, that sticks really well. Okay, that super glue is good. This is really good glue. This Gorilla Glue. It's excellent for doing the kind of stuff we're doing because it glues everything. And it glues it like pronto. Just don't put your fingers together with it. So what do you need?
I don't know what I need. I don't know.
May I suggest you get some dimension?
Yeah.
You're kind of flat, so you can use these to dimensionalize. I have more of that. Oh, okay. Just a suggestion. Glenn's here. Hi, Glenn. The Keepers is good on Netflix.
Yeah, The Keeper. No, I haven't watched The Keepers.
I haven't heard of that one. So.
The Keepers sounds interesting.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's see if I can put this thing. I have never used this Tim Holtz ribbon. Forgot I had it. Like so many of the things that I have, I forget I have them. Okay, just talking to myself now. Hey, I didn't see Roy's not on today. Luke says, was good to follow but scary. Thinking how things are going in the US. Oh, that was The Purge, season 1. Well, that's the one that's now sort of a spin-off from the movie.
What was
Isn't it? Yeah, The Purge, the one where they
Yeah, where they have
they kill everything. They have one day a week
they
or
have
something.
a wild
Or
day where they
one
can
day out of the year
yeah
where anything goes and they can kill anybody they want to.
yeah.
Yeah, that movie I find kind of
It's
the movie
disturbing.
disturbing because yeah, it's maybe too close to potential real life. Just another hint when you're doing mixed media. Elements should never float in space. They should always touch in some way
Oh, okay,
to
well,
each other. See mine? There isn't anything that doesn't touch something else. Just a tip, just saying, just in case you're interested. Maybe not, do your own thing, you're the artist. Okay, so that's what's on programs.
did we watch any movies?
What did we watch last? We did, didn't we? Did I write it down?
We watched The Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the book club. We watched the book club.
Yeah.
Now, I love Jane Fonda. And what was Jane Fonda and Diane, what's her name? In the Woody Allen movies all the time. Diane Keaton.
Keaton, yeah.
And there was a couple others in there that I can't remember what their names are, but they've been in lots of things. And it's based around these bunch of women reading the 50 Shades of Grey, all 3 in the trilogy, and trying to sort of spice up their own sex lives, sort of based on the book, but not really. But it's actually good. It's funny. But it's one of those kind of funnies where it's funny intellectual humor, not funny slapstick humor. So it's kind of, you got to think about it at times. I'm never going to get this glue off my fingers, even with the art guard on. That's better. Now you just have to get some dimension in there. So what else we got on here? I'm looking at my cheat sheets. Okay, here's an interesting question, people. You've heard me talk about him before. And he's come under a lot of criticism from some very nasty people on the internets, as they call it. Everybody says this now. They call it the YouTubes and the internets. And I don't know why we have a plural form, but whatever. That's Christopher Allen, the guy that lives in Rochester, New York, or outside of it, and does lifestyle and stuff, and always seems to have all the latest fashion things, Gucci bags, stuff like that. Well, he has not done a vlog in over 2 weeks. It's almost going on 3, which is very unusual for him. So I'm wondering what happened. I wonder if something as serious has happened or what. Shoot.
Maybe there was a death in the family.
Maybe there was something that, I don't know. As much as I sort of didn't like him, I did sort of like him. Like it was contagious.
I don't like what I did.
Keep going. There's always an ugly phase. So, couple of tips. Darken the edges on most of those pieces so they're not stark white. And then...
Well, they're all stuck down now. How can I...
Well, I told you that... did you use any dimensional things?
1, 2.
Okay. All right, so you need something else to spruce it up. What about your corners? What could you do with your corners? Well, think about it. Also, you know, you're not limited to have everything in that on that canvas like that. You
Oh,
can
what? So I can put stuff on your canvas?
no, you can overhang, and
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
that adds dimension.
I don't know. I'm just not into it.
Oh, okay, thanks. I spent today setting this up because you want to do this. Well, other people wanted us to do this too. Well, I hope other people are sort of enjoying this. If you're not, don't tell me. What's this? Glenn says The Keepers is about a nun that was murdered in 1969. Yeah, I saw that listed on there. So, do you recommend it, Glenn? Luch says Lionel and I just got the new Brother Scan and Cut DX225. So that gives you two scan and cuts now, right? Because you had the older model before. You guys are really sold on the Brother line of stuff. Which, I don't know. Scan and Cut's okay. I mean, that was my first electronic cutting machine, and I loved it then. I like my Brother, or my Cricut Maker more. But they both do a good job. And don't forget you have your Word
Yeah, I know.
too to put on, so.
Maybe I'll try a little bit of that.
What, this glue?
No, you put fabric on yours.
Yeah, I did. There's some of this left over, and there's this. Okay, where did I put my Word? Oh, here. Oh, and the other thing you can do with your Word too is, because it's kind of stark white, is just go around again with a little bit of ink to make it stand out. And I think I may raise this a little bit. So anyways, well, I'm reading a new book. It's kind of interesting. It's called The Secret by K.L. Slater. I haven't got that far into it yet, but there's some, in the little synopsis of it, there's some secret that some little boy knows about some woman. Right now she's a cat lady. She's some chick who's 30 years old and doesn't have a boyfriend or anything, and she's kind of desperate for one, and she's been watching some guy that rides on the train into work in the morning, and she can see him from her apartment window, and he's made eye contact with her, but she's starting to have a whole fantasy about him. I guess that'll stick with it. I'm gonna put glue on it. Which actually, so far, it's kind of an interesting book. And let's see. Glenn says he watched the entire series in one day. It's only 7 episodes of The Keeper. Luch says we got the DX free as a promotional item. How'd you do that? What did you have? Did you buy another sewing machine from Brother? How do people get these free things? I never get free things. I usually pay more for it. Oh, I got my iron back. You know, my expensive iron that goes pop. I had to send back to California. Well, it came back. They replaced it. They gave me a brand new one, which was really good. And I'm hoping that this one doesn't do what the old one did. Phil says, Monday is President's Day here. I'm waiting for some good sales at Tuesday morning. Yeah, we went to Tuesday morning, as you know, when we were down in Florida. Had some interesting things. I wasn't that impressed by Tuesday morning, but I guess it's because I didn't really know what it was. I didn't realize it was sort of a liquidation center. Okay, what do I need? There's something I was going to do and I forgot what I was going to do. Maybe not. I have glue on my fingers. Maybe I'll just leave mine as is. You're going to darken it?
Yeah, I guess.
Just a suggestion. So we never used the glue guns.
I did.
Oh, did you use your glue gun? Okay. I just used the Gorilla Glue. That's the best stuff. I need to get another bottle of it. Because this stuff's stuck right there. I don't have to wait days for it. Well, I'm kind of impressed with what I did. And I'm just kind of... What'd you stick that down with?
Huh? Oh, I didn't stick it
Duh.
down.
Duh. So, what's cooking? Well, you already know we're having roast beef tonight with Yorkshire puddings. And I have to say, I make the best Yorkshire puddings. And I'm not even English. It's not a Canadian
Yeah, they're
thing.
not bad.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Phyllis says The Lightkeepers, excellent. Mel says one good movie in Netflix is good is Cathedral of the Sea, based on a historical novel by, oh, I can't say that person's name, Spanish author. I saw it listed though.
It's not on my list though.
No, but it's in the I saw it like when they do their
I'll
new
have to take
releases
a look
and
for it
stuff.
again.
So you decided not to use any of this?
No, I guess I'm done. Actually, okay. I don't like my shoe on there, but
Your shoe?
the shoe.
Well, then take it off. Yeah, it looks like you're kicking her in the head. Put something else there. You'll probably be careful pulling it up. Put something over on top of it to, or maybe not. I guess you didn't rip anything.
Maybe not. We'll just leave it.
You could. I don't know. You could use a. You could put. It keeps them from floating in space.
Yeah.
It anchors them. Just glue that down across and trim it off at the edges. That might look okay.
Okay. What do I use for glue?
Use this. Use the Gorilla Glue.
Okay.
You just put dot 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 across it, and that'll work. Oh, we still have champagne left. We get so busy in here. So let's see. The Lightkeepers Phil says is excellent. All right. So let's what's cooking? Okay. So coming up, we have our next class in the rug making. There's only two
I'm
classes.
doing my beginner quilting thing.
Oh yeah. What about your beginner quilting thing?
It's okay. Though a lot of people are still somewhat challenged.
What, kind of like you when you're doing mixed media?
Yeah, well.
Well, actually,
Well, the lady across from me, I mean, nice lady and everything else, but she has to write everything down. Like,
you know, some people are like that. I did that in the first couple of classes I took, and then I decided I'll never read the notes, so why do that? I remember, what I don't, I'll just relearn it again. Kind of.
but it's like she's afraid she's going to do something wrong,
Oh, yeah?
you know? So,
Well, that's kind of like teaching mixed media classes. Now, just before you trim that, you could do it that way, or you could just put a little glue and continue it over and onto the back with a little glue and then trim it off the back. See what I did with mine?
oh, okay.
Because that just makes it look a little bit more continuous. But again, up to you. Don't take my word for it. Try whatever you want to try. There's nothing else exciting this week coming up, though. I mean, I've still got my classes. My art quilt did turn out pretty good. Well, it's not quite finished. I'm still quilting it, as I said. But I will show you what I've got done tomorrow. And I am sort of impressed with myself on it. Would I make another one? Probably not. I don't know. Well, never say never. I've got the hiccups.
I don't like this glue.
Well, it's maybe the way you're doing it. All you have to do is just hold it down for about 10 seconds. Just put pressure and... Yeah, do your glue challenge too. Sometimes you have to be patient with glue. If we're done with that. That way. Clean up a few things off of here before we go, because I think we're pretty much to the end. So it's time for the big reveal once you get stuck down. Wreck my shoe. Okay. So, oh, you're still sticking, right? Very good. And in a few weeks' time, we have the retreat for sewing, which Walter was still not sure what he's going to do. I've got about 4 different projects.
Actually, I bought some really nice fabric. I'm going to look
Yes.
at that pattern. I got a pattern. I think I'm going to do that one for sure as my primary. And then maybe have a second one available because it takes me longer to sew.
Okay, you ready for the reveal?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, what do you think? There they are. Oh, Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. That Gorilla Glue is fine. We've glued lots of things to myself with it. Yeah, me too. But that was really good, Kristen. I'm glad that you discovered it and told me about it because I love it. So I think mine turned out not too bad. Yours is pretty good.
It's all right for a first
It
time.
looks better than what you thought before.
Yeah.
But you see the dimension adds to it
Yeah.
when you post it up and everything. So works of art, again, suitable for an art gallery. Maybe, maybe not. Luch says, wow, beautiful work, guys. Can't see the details of the work, Phyllis says. Well, Phyllis, get your glasses out. Okay, Phyllis, there's mine. Try to keep the glare off it. And here, I'll switch her to Walter's. And there's Walter's. So our stimulus was the picture from Norman Rockwell and the phrase, and the rest is history. So there you go. Better, Phyllis?
It's okay, but I don't think I'd be running out to do it again.
Mel says, Walter should start making his own art journals. Yeah, I don't think he'd be into it. Cindy says, and Walter's is pretty nice as well. Catherine says, ink the edges all around the frame to frame it. Oh, yes. Very good thought. I didn't think of that, Catherine. That does, I usually do that in my art journals. Where's my black ink? Because that is an excellent idea for finishing it up. So let's just do that. Yes, that was the piece that was missing, and that'll make a big difference on yours. Yep, so there we go. I inked the edges, and it just makes it pop a little bit more. Thanks, Catherine. Didn't even think of that. Walter Luch says, awesome. Cindy says, good job to both of you. Luch says, be proud of your beautiful work. And Phil says, great, love the Rockwell Walter. They like to feed your ego.
Yeah.
See, that makes a lot of difference when you do that. Yes, that kind of finishes it off very nicely. So there you go. Okay, Glenn says, well done, fabulous. All right, people, so that was Art Attack. I put it in the notes as 2, but it was actually 3. I forgot we had done another one since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it turned out okay. I wasn't really going,
Yeah, well,
considering it's my first one.
yeah, it's fine. You lived through it. Okay, so that brings us to our time today as well. So that's great. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our Art Attack. Next week, we'll be back to our regular routine, I guess. And, yeah. Phyllis is still not floating Walter's boat. It'll grow on you, Walter. Yeah, whatever. I'm not sure what floats his boats these days. But anyways, okay, that's it, people. It's time to look at our roast, and I got to clean up this mess here as well. So glad you joined us, and we'll see everybody next week, 4 o'clock. Same bat channel,
Yep.
same bat
Bye-bye.
time. Bye-bye for now.
Boy, this one went fast.
Yeah, I know.